So yesterday we have seen this is the equation of the path. 1 upon here, you can say it is rho or p. So 1 by p square is equal to u square, square of the derivative of u with respect to theta. Now in this next example, we find the differential equation of the central orbit in pedal form. So we begin with the differential equation of the path in pedal form, which is 1 by p square is equal to u square plus second derivative of u with respect to theta. And then we differentiate this equation 1 with respect to theta. So we obtain 1 by p square we have in the left hand side. So its derivative is minus 1 by p to the power 3 and multiplied by 2. And we differentiate p with respect to theta because p is a function of theta. And derivative of u square is 2u. Again, u is a function of theta. Therefore, we differentiate it and we write du by d theta plus square of the derivative of du by d theta. So it is nothing but 2 times du by d theta. Again, we differentiate this with respect to theta, and that gives second derivative of u with respect to theta square. So I forget to write 2 here, but it is 2 here. Now this can be simplified further as this one. So du by d theta, dp by d theta, p is a function of theta, and we know by chain rule this p is a function of u and u is a function of theta, and therefore we get by chain rule left hand side as this minus 2 upon p to the power 3. Product of these two derivatives is equal to right hand. Now, if you simplify further, you can take du by d theta common in the right hand side, and then as this operator du by d theta is on both the sides, we can cancel it, and we get minus 2 upon p to the power 3 dp upon du is equal to 2u plus this 2 into second derivative of u with respect to theta. Now again, this p is a function of radius vector, so we can write in this way by chain rule, and we know that dr by du is nothing but minus 1 upon u square, and therefore we use this value in the left hand side. So minus minus will be plus, and we have left hand side as this 1 upon p to the power 3 dp upon dr 1 by u square is equal to u plus second derivative of u with respect to theta. So we can take 2 common from the right hand side also, and that 2 vanishes with this 2, and we have finally this equation. So we denote this u plus second derivative of u with respect to theta by this f of u, capital F of u. So upon h square into u square. And then we find the value of f of u only. So we have f of u is equal to h square into u square divided by p to the power 3 dp upon dr into 1 by u square. But u square in the numerator and this u square in the denominator is 1, and therefore we get left hand side as s square p to the power 3 dp upon dr is equal to f of u. And this is nothing but small f of r. So this is the differential equation, and we call this as the pedal equation of differential equation of central orbit in pedal form. But we know that h is nothing but phi into p, and therefore we put the value of h here. So square of h will be phi square p square divided by p to the power 3 dp upon dr is equal to f of r. So this h square, p square vanishes with p square in the denominator, and what remains only h square divided by P. So that gives, if you take the square, so what remains only phi square in the numerator. So phi square is equal to h square upon rho square, and that gives h square into this. So this is nothing but f of r. So this gives the differential equation of the central orbit whenever h is equal to Vp in the pedal form. So this is about the central orbit and its a differential equation. Now we discuss axes. So let us first define what do you mean by apse. It is some point. Then what do you mean by apse line? Then what is the apsidal distance and apsidal angle? So we shall define these terms first, and then we will see how we obtain the equation of orbit in polar form to find the law of force. So that we discuss now. So what is the definition of apses? So an apse is a point in a central orbit at which the radius vector drawn from a center of force to the moving particle has maximum or minimum value. So let us try to understand this. Okay. So let us consider the orbit of some particle. So this is the orbit. As far as the when we treat object as Earth revolves around the sun. Okay, so that is called sun is treated as orbit, central orbit, and this is the path of that. Okay, so ellipse is the path. So here we take this is the point orbit, path of the central orbit, and we take this as the orbit. Okay, central orbit. Now here apse is a point in central orbit at which the radius vector drawn from the center of force. So we have some center of force here. So we denote that center of force by some notation. Say yeah. And suppose the tangent drawn. So for that I will change the color. So tangent drawn is this. So in 2 dimension it is quite difficult to imagine it, but you can have this. Now here see, if I take this as central orbit, yes, I need to shade it. So it has some central force like that. And now you can draw a radius vector from the center of the force. Suppose this is the center of the force and we have a radius like this. Center of the force is say UK. So this should be either maximum or minimum. So that is the point. Suppose you have that point, this one, or this one, this one. So maximum distance should be here. That point, center of the force and radius vector, that must be maximum or minimum. So that point is called apse. And the line through the center of the force and an apse is called Apse line. So this is, if this is the center of the force, and you can draw a line from that point. So that line is called apse line. So you can have many lines, but we consider only that line with respect to the center of force. So yes, so you can have, suppose this is the apse, then you can have many lines, but the point we consider only that line which crosses which lie on the central force. So central force is denoted by vector, and therefore that line is considered as that central force is considered as a center of force. Next, the length of the radius vector to an apse is called apsidal distance. So here, suppose this is the radius vector, right? And this is the apse or point, some point. So this distance, this much distance is called apsidal distance. So length of the radius vector to an apse or to a point. So that is called apsidal distance. So here, if this is the line and you have some point here, say this, and if you draw a perpendicular from this point on this, right? So this distance is called a perpendicular distance from this point on this surface. So likewise here, the distance between or length of the radius vector and apse point. So that is called apsidal distance, or the distance between center of the force and the apse point is called the apsidal distance. Now, what is the angle? The angle between radius vector to the consecutive apse is called apsidal angle. So here, if the center of the force is this and apse is this, right? So this angle is nothing but apsidal angle. So that depends on the center of force and the apse point. So these are the basic things about apses. Now we can find the equation of orbit in polar form. And what is the use? Where we use this equation of orbit? To find the law of force. So that is explained in this example. A particle moves in an ellipse under a central force described towards its focus, whose polar equation is given by this: L upon R is equal to 1 plus E cos theta, and focus being the pole. Find the law of force and the velocity at any point of its path. Find also the periodic time. So let us see how to use these definitions to solve this example. Okay. Now we know the equation of ellipse whose focus is pole. It is nothing but, so this is the equation of ellipse in polar coordinate system. So what is R and theta? So that I will remind you. So R is equal to square root of, so if you know the coordinates of point, R x square plus y square. And what is theta? Theta is equal to tan inverse of y upon x. All right. So here x and y are the coordinates of a point. Suppose this is an ellipse, and if you consider a point P whose coordinates are x comma 1, right? Then equation of ellipse can be written as this. L upon R is equal to 1 plus E cos theta. So what is E? E is the eccentricity of that ellipse, and L is the latus rectum. So here what is the equation of ellipse in coordinate system? It is x square upon a square plus y square upon b square. So here it is square is equal to. So this is the equation of ellipse in Cartesian coordinate system. This is the equation of ellipse in polar coordinate system with the meanings of L and E as L is latus rectum, E is the eccentricity. Now we have denoted this by U. So U is equal to 1 by R, right? So if you take U is equal to 1 by R, so what is this? So you take the reciprocal of this equation. So that gives R upon L. And what is value of R? R is equal to 1 plus E cos theta divided by L, right? But what is 1 upon R? 1 upon R is U. And therefore we can take U as 1 plus E cos theta upon L. And now they differentiate this equation 1. So that gives du by d theta. So here we differentiate with respect to theta, therefore 1 by L is constant. So 1 by L we have written. Derivative of 1 with respect to theta is 0. And what is derivative of E cos theta? It is minus E sin theta. Right? Again differentiate this with respect to theta, you will get second derivative. So minus, again 1 by L is constant. So derivative of E sin theta is E cos theta. So we have second derivative of U with respect to theta, first derivative of U with respect to theta. And we know we need this term because this is the equation of differential equation of the orbit in pedal form. And so we need these values and we put these values. So first of all, we determine second derivative of U with respect to theta plus U. So what is second derivative? That is here minus E cos theta upon L, right? So I have taken the value of second derivative of U with respect to theta. And what is U? U is equal to yes, let me check. Yes, U is 1 plus E cos theta upon L. And you can separate this as 1 upon L plus E cos theta upon L. That I did here. Right? So you know how to separate it. You have to just use this. A plus B upon C. So this can be this is true for minus also. So this is equal to A upon C plus or minus B upon C. That we know. So in this way you can separate it like this. And now see, this is minus E cos theta L and this is plus E cos theta L. So what is right hand side? It is only 1 upon L. So this value is L only, 1 upon L, not L, right? Now we know the equation, pedal equation is this. Second derivative of U with respect to theta plus U, f of U, h square U square, and you just write the value of f of U. So f of U is equal to this, right? And now substitute the value of this term. So this is 1 upon L from equation 2. And this is h square U square into 1 upon L. And this is, if you simplify further, so this is h square upon L into U square. But what is u? We have taken u as 1 upon r, and we put the value of u here. So u square will be 1 by r square. Right. So h square is constant, h is constant, l is constant. So h square upon l is constant. So what we see here, this f is proportional to 1 by r square. Or you can, instead of this f of u, you can take f of r also. Small f of r, right? So here this is proportional to 1 upon r square. But what is r? R is the distance. R is the position vector. Distance between fixed point and the point on a given ellipse. So as we are talking about here ellipse, which is a central, which is the orbit, it has central force like that. Okay, so what we have seen, f of u is proportional to, or f of r is proportional to 1 by r square. So now we determine force per unit mass. Acceleration varies inversely the square of the distance of the moving particle from the focus. Now, this is phi square, square of the velocity. And if you take its magnitude, that gives the speed. So phi square is, we know this relation, phi, h is equal to phi into p. And from that relation, we have phi square is equal to s square upon p square. And here, yes, I forget to write plus 1 here. And to substitute this value, just square as it is. This is nothing but we have determined this. So 1 plus e cos theta square upon L square plus e square sin square theta upon L square. And you just simplify this bracket. Make the expansion of this 1 plus e cos theta. So it is 1 plus 2e cos theta plus e square cos square theta. And then this is this. And use the identity. Take e square common, we get cos square theta plus sin square theta. So that gives 1. So we have finally 1 plus e square plus 2e cos theta divided by L square. Now, we can write this as 2e cos theta plus 1. And you just add and subtract 2. So that will give you. And further, you can take L, 1L common, and that can be separated. Here, this divided by L minus 3 divided by L. Because we take 1 by R as 2 into 1 plus e cos theta upon L. So that we write here. So 2 of, this is the value of 1 upon R. So we write 2 upon R. And minus, this is 1 by A into U. So mu is S square upon L. And as in the case of ellipse, whose semi-axes are A and B, then we can find the lattice, semi-lattice rectum as this, B square upon A. So what are A and B? So see, so from that, if you know the values of A and B, you can find the semi-lattice rectum. That I will discuss now. See here. Yes, before that we should have ellipse. Okay. Then straight line I have. So this is as usual your x-axis, y-axis, not x, and y-axis is this one. So for that I will change the color. All right. So the coordinates of this point are a comma 0. I will not put bracket here. Coordinates of this point are minus a comma 0, right? And this is plus b 0 comma b, and this is 0 comma minus b. Okay, so if we know, so this is the axis, x-axis, but we are taking only this much part, and we call that is why it is called semi-axis. Okay, semi-axes are a and b, means this distance is a, this distance is b. Along this is semi-axis along x direction, this is semi-axis along y direction. That is what does it mean. And if you know this, you can find the lattice rectum. So semi-lattice rectum, for that formula is b square upon a. Make the square of this distance divided by a. So b square, so that is nothing but a square into 1 minus a square. That is the value of b, and divided by 2. E is the eccentricity. And if you simplify, this a cancels with 1a here, and what we have here, a into 1 minus a square. So if we know, let us take here eccentricity of this ellipse, we can able to find the semi-lattice rectum, because the given equation is L upon R is equal to 1 plus E into cos theta. So this is the equation of ellipse in polar form, right? So this is, so E is given. If you know the points A and B, then L can be determined. Okay. So that is what does it mean. And therefore 1 by A is this one. 1 minus A square upon L. So this is just a relation between one of the semi major axis, eccentricity, and L. Now, how do you find periodic time? So that is the last question in this example. So we know that H is the twice the rate of description of area. So that is the height that we know. So if t is the time that the particle takes described to the whole arc of the ellipse. So again, go back to ellipse and see what we are going to assume. Right? So if you start at this point, say this point, you can change the color to distinguish. So the coordinates of these points are taken as, say, h comma k, right? So we have h by 2 is equal to area of the ellipse. Whole arc means this one, complete. So that is arc of the given ellipse. Then h by 2 is nothing but area of the ellipse. And what is the area of the ellipse? That is pi into AB. And therefore, you can find from this, h square is equal to mu into L is equal to mu into B square upon A. So periodic time T is equal to, you just put the value of h here. So that gives 2 upon h pi A B, and get this after putting the value of h. So this is, so T is equal to 2 pi upon mu a to the power 3 by 2. So what is mu? So just in previous article we have seen what is mu. Yes. So mu is equal to h square divided by L. So if you know h, and let us